Well, after a 1-3-2 start, John Cooper's trying something different with the Lightning lines, including where Kucherov's coming back into the lineup. Will it work? We'll talk about it on today's Locked On Lightning.
You're Locked On Lightning, your daily podcast on the Tampa Bay Lightning, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked On Lightning your first listen of the day every single day. We are your free daily Tampa Bay Lightning podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. As always, we want to begin by giving a shout out to our everydayers, those of you who tune into every single show, every single day. We love you. We appreciate the support you give us week in, week out. I'm Nick Morgan, and I'm joined by the 6 to my 7, Greg Stephen. Greg, welcome in, buddy.
I just learned about the 6-7 thing. I'm too old for that stuff, man.
I still don't fully understand it.
I was going to say that, but I didn't want to admit it. But yeah, I still don't get it either. Anyway,
the kids.
Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. We got 2 more days of no Lightning hockey, but I think it's good.
Let's hope. The Lightning need to settle in and try something different. That appears to be what John Cooper is doing. Some big changes coming to the lineup, including the line combinations. A couple of major names are going to be playing in slightly different spots with slightly different combinations. We'll talk about that. Plus some eye-opening numbers that tells you just how, I guess, rough this Lightning start has been this season compared to a few years ago. And we're starting a new segment on today's show, Hot Take Tuesday. I'm going to throw out some hot takes that I've seen from around the internet, like NHL Reddit, Lightning Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, all that. And Greg, you and I are going to judge whether we think they're hot takes or not takes, cold takes. We'll workshop it. All that coming up on today's show. Do want to mention right off the bat, today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. All right, Greg, big news from Lightning camp. Good news is Nikita Kucherov's back.
Yes.
That's a good sign.
Good.
Also, Zemgus Girgensons appears to be back. He's back skating full practice with the team today. John Cooper says probably at some point this week/weekend he will be officially back in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. Off to a good start.
Love those.
Here's where it gets interesting, Greg. Some different line combinations. Our boy, Nikita Kucherov, back in the lineup, but coming in on the second line, or at least the second line that was taking rushes. Nikita Kucherov's going to be with Anthony Cirelli and then Brandon Hagel on the wing. And that means up front, Jake Gensel is going to be back with Braden Point, and our buddy, Overage Gage, is now the number 1 right wing. Interesting. And I know you could probably call that 1A, 1B, however you want to do it there, but still a little bit of a major shift there, Greg, in terms of how these lines are shaking out.
Yeah. I mean, look, Nikita Kucherov is the best player on this team. Mm-hmm. Don't let the line combinations fool you if you're a fan. That being said, I find it very interesting that they're breaking up Point and Kucherov, because how long has that duo just dominated the NHL? Years and years now. And I don't really see why you make that change now. I mean, obviously they need to shake up bad, right? Like, you'll try anything at this point if you're John Cooper, and I'm so for it. And I bet you Kuch doesn't see this as like a demotion in any way either. I bet you he eats the same amount of minutes. And I bet you he basically plays the same role. They're just trying up some new combos here, but maybe they're just trying to ease him back in too. Maybe he's still got the tail end of a sickness because he was ill, as far as I'm aware. So maybe he's just kind of recovering, and they're throwing him on 2 and just trying to change up for the rest of the team for now. And maybe when he is fully healthy, they'll throw him back on 1. Who knows? Yeah. But I'm here for it. I love Gage. I think Gage is great. I know, like, on paper right now, he doesn't look like Nikita Kucherov, obviously, but he's still excellent. I think he's playing his position well. I don't think he's made any egregious errors that we've seen. He just puts in effort on every shift. He's fast. He forecheck. I think he's a great player. Honestly, he's one of the biggest surprises for me last season. And like I said, going into this season, I forget what I predicted him for. I think I said 60, but I don't know. I'm okay with it. I don't think it's bad at all.
Yeah, I don't see it like as a demotion at all.
Yeah.
It's not like he's dropping down to the fourth line or anything like that. I don't anticipate him losing, any minutes or anything like that. He's still going to be number one off the bench for the power play.
Oh yeah.
Extra attacker, all that stuff. To me, you know what this screams, Greg?
What?
Defense and better two-way play. Because right now, Anthony Cirelli is the better two-way forward than Braden Point. Mm-hmm. And when you look at kind of the downfall to Nikita Kucherov, the guy's got, 3 points in 4 games, but he's also a very, very jarring -8.
Awful.
Which is not good for a player who is that's -2 a game. And he's got some points. So that tells you how much he's kind of been burned on the other end. To me, this is maybe getting somebody who's a little bit more anchored in Anthony Cirelli. And I'm not saying Braden Point's not, because I think Braden Point is also a very capable two-way player. Haven't seen it much on the defensive side this year, but I think Cirelli is more of is going to stay in position type of guy than Point is. And I wonder if they're doing this to kind of give Kucherov maybe more freedom to skate around and be a little bit more cavalier with how he attacks the puck, cavalier with where he is on the ice, to try to get him going a little bit more on the offensive end. And then you have Brandon Hagel there with him, who's also kind of the same vibe, very defensively responsible in his own right, but also likes to go play in different spots, likes to crash the net a little bit. So I wonder if this is more about just having kind of a more consistent anchor in Anthony Cirelli to let those two guys go out and play their game without having to worry about maybe what's happening when the other team has the puck.
Yeah, I love that take, actually. And it's not even something that crossed my mind until you said it. And I like that you brought it up.
You're welcome.
A few things I want to point out. Mm-hmm. Last season, Hagel was unbelievable. I would argue he's one of the worst players on the team right now. And I love Brandon Hagel. I think he's talented. I don't think this is like he's done kind of vibe. He has 1 point in 6 games and he's -5. I mean, he's not doing much. And to be honest with you, watching the games, he's not even that noticeable right now. And this kind of goes back to what I was saying in the last episode. There's really no reason for a lot of the chemistry to be lost between these guys. A lot of them have been playing together for years. And we even had a comment on YouTube who agreed with me, and that made me feel so good, because there is no excuse. There really is no excuse. There's no excuse for Point to be -8. There's no excuse for Kuch to be -8. It's not good. And I'm with you. I think you're right. It's like that anchor. It's sort of like countering style. Like you're combining styles. Instead of just dumping your offense on one line and your defense on the second line, you're splitting it up. And I like that a lot, actually. I do wonder if it impacts Kuch's offense. I mean, it depends on how long they leave him here, right? I would also argue that a big reason that Kuch is -8 is because in the first 4 games that he's played, he's just made atrocious turnovers.
Sure.
Horrendous. Just like no look passes for no reason, just overconfident carelessness. And I think if he just goes back to being a little more fundamental, his plus-minus will improve. And I know people hate plus-minus. I don't love it either, but -8 in 4 games is bad. It is.
Yeah. And it does tell you the story of, if a player is getting work when he's on the ice, or, if he's giving up more goals, is he scoring more goals?
Mm-hmm.
It does have its purpose, I think, plus-minus.
Right. And look, Point has 5 points in 6 games, and he's still -8.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Not great. We have some other interesting stats to get to in terms of why the Lightning, I think, are off to as slow as a start as they are. But let's go back to the lineup for a second, because there's been, I guess, some other developments this week. Obviously, Zemgus Girgensons back in the lineup, it seems like. Curtis Douglas is still around. The other big headline is Connor Geekie going down to the AHL. I saw some comment that it was maybe due to the fact that he was the only waivers exempt guy among the
Mhm.
Lightning forwards.
Right.
And that's a good reason. Why? I don't know if I necessarily agree that's the move I would make, but
No, I'm with you.
I don't know.
I mean,
you tell me what you're thinking on this, Greg.
look, I think I'm not going to sit here and say Geeky's looked amazing, right? Because I don't think that, but
No.
I think he's been playing better than half of what I'm looking at on the screen right now. And for me, the first guy I send down on this screen is Chafee. I think he's been completely unnoticeable. He has no points. I mean, to be fair, he's not minus, but he's also just done nothing. His stats are zeros across the entire board other than games played. So it's like, why is he still here? I haven't noticed him at all either. Yeah. Another thing I'm kind of shocked at is I thought Finley has been playing well.
Yeah.
He had some great takeaways in the last game. Like literal takeaways. I mean, taking the puck away from the opposing team. He had I remember specifically one fantastic poke check while I forget who they played last, but while they were breaking out. And I was just sitting there like, this is the guy they need. He's big and lanky. He can get his stick in the way, take the puck from the other team. He made a great turnaround, and they had a couple shots on goal because of his effort. And when you see stuff like that, it makes me want to keep that guy on the team. And I don't know why they just keep disappearing him and then leaving guys like Chafee who don't make those kind of plays. And it is confusing.
Yeah, I mean, for somebody like Finley, I would love to see him maybe get some more minutes because I think he's got more. I won't touch Mitchell Chafee right now, but like Curtis Douglas, what does he offer other than fights?
Right.
It's that's his game. He's the enforcer. Seems like a great guy. The players seem to love him, but are you really telling me that he's going to have more upside in playing right now than Jack Finley is? And I will say one more thing about Geeky is maybe just knowing his potential. John Cooper at this point and JBB are thinking, okay, maybe it's worth it more to have him on the first scoring line in Syracuse. So he's getting like 20 minutes a game to kind of develop and work out his kinks as opposed to, the fourth line rotate in and out guy here in Tampa. Right. Mm-hmm. That's my, I guess, the only take on that. And I agree with you. I would love to see more Jack Finley come up here early on, but
yeah.
I mean,
three of the games.
Yeah. I mean, you want to try something there, and not saying that no Jack Finley and no Connor Geeky are the reason that the Lightning have got off to a slow start, but I don't know. I feel like they're more of a part of a solution than, let's say, Curtis Douglas.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. And the only other note is that we have one more call up, and that is Charles-Edouard Destois. I think I might have just completely butchered that, but Destois, I think looked pretty good in the preseason action we saw him play in. Has been pretty solid for Syracuse. He's a left-handed shot, so I assume he's coming in here to give some extra depth as the Lightning have their next couple of home games. Max Crozier still out.
Yes,
not at practice today, so there's that. Also, no Nick Paul. We thought maybe he would be back for Thursday's game. There was some scuttlebutt that he was skating, but another week without Nick Paul. We'll see if the Lightning can hold it together these next few games. Fingers crossed. All right. So obviously, Greg, bad start for the Lightning. 1-3-2. There's some surprising stats that tell you kind of what is wrong with the Lightning's game right now compared to a few years ago when they were continually winning just every single game in the Eastern Conference. We're going to dive into those, plus some hot takes about the Lightning in the NHL when we come back. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Hockey season, it's finally here, folks. And FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. All you have to do is pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using FanDuel because it gives you so many ways to play. You can build parlays, you can do player props, or my favorite thing to do, you can follow the live lines during games with some live in-game bets. Makes watching hockey even more exciting when you've got a little something riding in the action. Whether you're a casual fan or just love checking out the guys on your fantasy team to see how they're doing, FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Again, FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app and place your first $5 bet. Today's episode is also sponsored by Rugiet. Let's be real, guys. Making excuses doesn't solve anything. We've all heard them before. It's just stress. We're just tired. Just happens to everybody sometimes. But when it comes to performance, sometimes your body just needs a little extra support. And that's where Rugiet comes in. Rugiet offers fast-acting, doctor-prescribed treatments for ED designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves. Rugiet makes it easy to get started. You just connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online, so no awkward waiting rooms or no in-person appointments. And if you get prescribed, your treatment ships directly and discreetly straight to your door. The process is fast, simple, and private, and it's all handled by real doctors. It's about confidence, connection, and getting back to the moments that matter. Visit Rugiet.com/LockedOnNHL to get 15% off your first order. Again, Rugiet.com/LockedOnNHL. And don't forget to use our code LockedOnNHL so they know we sent you. Rugiet. Stop making excuses and start making moves. We're back on Locked On Lightning. Nick Morgan here alongside Greg Stephen. And Greg, Lightning 1-3-2 this season. And there's some stats that I think really tell the story of what's been going on with the Lightning team this year. I'm just going to throw some up on the board.
Okay.
And you tell me what you think of them. All right. So let's start on the offensive side. So I'm going to tell you about a stat called expected goals for percentage per 60 minutes. And if you're an advanced analytics person, you probably know all this. But if you're not, what XGF percent tells you is basically the story of which team is getting the bulk of the chances during games. If you're above 50%, that means you're generally out shooting, out chancing your opponent. If you're below 50%, that means the other teams generally are getting the best of you. From 2020 to 2022, which was the 3 years the Lightning made the Eastern Conference Finals, or made the Stanley Cup Finals, won the Eastern Conference.
Yes.
They were sixth in the NHL, 53.1% expected goals for percentage. This season, they're 25th, 47.6%. And Greg, what this tells you, expected goals for percentage is generally a good indicator of, are you really as bad as your record seems to indicate? Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times what will happen is you'll look in a team like the Lightning will be like 1-4, but then you look at the expected goals percentage and maybe you have like 53%, and then you can go, oh, okay, we've lost all these games, but we've been getting the majority of the chances. We've kind of been outplaying the other team. It's just maybe been bad goaltending, bad luck, whatever have you. Yep. But no, what this tells you, Greg, is that the Lightning have been just as bad as the record would seem to indicate in terms of getting outplayed, getting outshot, and getting outchanced.
I agree. I think it's accurate, especially through the games we've seen so far. Now, before I go crazy, I mean, the top 3 years on this screen are full seasons. So, this number is a few games. But yeah, that being said, I also think Kuch being out for 2 games definitely influences this. Your team's much less dangerous when your best player is out. But I think the roster without Kuch should also be able to beat a lot of teams in the NHL. So, yes, this is not a good sign, not a good look. They should be losing. They are losing, and nothing is really changing right now. And that's the scariest part about it.
Yeah. that's another thing. And I'm going to throw up one more stat for you real quick. Okay. And this is high danger chances per 60 minutes. So this is like, think of how many chances you get per game, like right in front of the net or in the slot. Basically the biggest chances of the game. Not necessarily just like shots from the blue line or anything like that. These are deflections, rebounds, shots from point blank range.
Yep.
During their 3 Stanley Cup years, the Lightning 11.3 high danger chances per 60 minutes. That was 6th best in the NHL. This year, 9.8, which isn't a huge drop, but it is 24th in the NHL. Yeah. So they're a little bit below where the trend is right now. And it's kind of the same thing, Greg. It's the offense just hasn't been this tells me the offense just hasn't been as dangerous as getting the puck into those critical areas and putting those really dangerous chances on net as they have in years past.
Yeah, agreed. And I think a lot of this falls on the superstars, if you will, of this team. You expect Hagel to have at least a point or two by now, I mean, I think he has 1 assist. And I just don't think the top guys are getting it done right now. That's really what it is. And I know, like, we keep talking about some of the AHLers that are going back and forth and some of the new guys and the defense, but really these top guys are just not getting it done. Gensel has 6 points. That's pretty strong. Point has 5 points, but he's -8. So to me, that's basically having 2 points in my mind.
Yeah.
Other than that, who is impressive? Because I couldn't tell you. And I can give you one player that I think is impressive this season. And it's going to shock you, actually.
It's Mitchell Chaffee.
No, it's Pontus Holmberg.
Mitchell Chaffee. I just wanted to see your reaction to that. No, Pontus Holmberg to me has been, I think, every bit as advertised as he has been.
New team. First few games with his new team has 3 points. He's the highest plus-minus on the Lightning right now. Despite having 6 penalty minutes, he has a game-winning goal. Every time he's on the ice, I can see him. I see him,
Yeah.
When some of the other guys are on the ice right now, like Hagel, he's unnoticeable. Like, a lot of the stuff, it just seems, I don't know what it is, but they're all off right now. But Holmberg is flying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Let's talk defense, Greg. Because I know that's been a pain point that you and I have both pointed out.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to expected goals against per 60 minutes. So this is basically expected goals is how many goals the models think you should be giving up per game.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a good indication, not necessarily of how good your goaltending is, but how good your defense is. Are you suppressing shots? Are you keeping the puck off the other team's stick? Are you limiting the type of chances that you're giving the other team?
Yeah.
Lightning, those 3 Stanley Cup years, 2.2 expected goals against per game, 4th best defense in the NHL during that span.
Yep.
You know the trend, Greg. This year, 2.79 expected goals against, 26 in the NHL. And what that tells me, Greg, is I know we've had some questions about goaltending and that's a shot they should have stopped or blah, 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 blah. To me, this tells me that the defense is letting other teams get way, 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 way more quality chances on Andrei Vasilevsky and Jonas Johansson as they did back in their prime years. And that, to me, has been a big problem for the past couple of years for the Tampa Bay Lightning, is that defense just isn't that shutdown wall as it had been the past few years.
Yeah. And you know what? It's not even just the defense. It's the forwards too.
Mm-hmm.
That's why guys like Kuch and Point are -8, because defensively they've been poor. And that's just the reality of the situation. Even Hagel, he's -5. I think none of them are playing strong defense right now. I don't know why. I don't know if it's that they're trying some new stuff out and it's just taking some time to adjust, or if it's just that, they're just not playing well right now. Because that's a thing. Teams go through slumps. Maybe their slump is now and things will turn around. I've seen a lot of comments on the videos that say, don't hit the panic button, but your hand should at least be a little bit over it. Yeah. One of our top commenters said that. And I completely agree, because there is no excuse for a lot of this, because again, they have been playing for years together. This isn't a new team. It's not. It's a retooled team But that shouldn't impact how like Hagel and Point and Cooch are all playing. It does not. It should not, and it's not an excuse. That being said, look at look at our defense. There's one guy on defense who is positive. Do you know who it is?
Mitchell Chafee.
He's not on defense.
He's everywhere, Greg.
No, it's Max Crozier +2.
Yeah.
+2. And he's out.
Yeah.
And now you start Darren Radish, who's -4, worst on the defense on the team. And then you got Lilleberg, who's -3, second worst on the team with 15 penalty minutes now, by the way. Mm-hmm. That's not going to win you hockey games.
Nope.
I don't know who needs to tell them that, but hello?
Yeah. Well, can I tell you the one last big stat that I think both you and I have talked about?
Let's see it.
Let's put it up on the board. Giveaways per 60 minutes. The Stanley Cup years, 5.79 giveaways per game. Best in the NHL. Mm-hmm. This season, 17.59 giveaways per game. 26.
It's crazy that 17 isn't the last place.
Long season to go.
Yeah.
Thank God for the save curve. But that to me, that's the story right there. Is they're just the word I'll use, Greg, is careless. There's some more carelessness this year in terms of positioning, in terms of being careful with the puck than in years past. And again, I go back to what you said earlier, shouldn't be a chemistry issue. This group of people have been playing with each other for years now.
Right. And you know where most of those happen? Zone entry. They happen on zone entry for this team. And it happens every single time they try and enter the offensive zone. They just are so bad at it. And it makes no sense to me. If you can't carry the puck through the zone, put it in the corner and go forecheck. But instead they make these dumb passes like right along the line, and they either go off or they just get intercepted, and it causes 2-on-1s, like odd man rushes. It's awful. I've seen Cooch do it a bunch. I've seen Point do it a bunch. They all do it. It's awful. It's just not good hockey. They got to be a lot smarter with the puck, especially, again, with zone entries. They turn the puck over all the time. Watch the power play. I promise you, the next time you watch the power play, they will struggle to get in the zone like 4 times just in the 2 minutes. You're a man up.
Yeah.
There are some good PKers out there, but there's no team that should be able to stop you from entering the zone on your entire power play, and you have Cooch, Point, and Gensel out there. There's no excuse. None.
Yeah.
I will never listen to an excuse about that. It's awful.
Yeah, I'm with you right there. Let's get to some NHL hot takes, shall we? We're already fired up about the Lightning, Greg. I'm going to give you some hot takes. I'm going to give you some hot takes that I've seen about the Lightning, and I want you to tell me whether they're hot takes or nope, just facts. Just straight up 100.
I'm ready.
Let's get to that when we come back. Today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Let's be honest, most of us can't even name all of our financial accounts, let alone what they're worth. Between 401ks, savings, and investments, it's easy to lose track of your money, and that can mean leaving a few dollars on the table. That's why I started using Monarch, an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. It's helped me organize my accounts, track my spending, and get better handle on my investments without ever having to touch a spreadsheet. All I've had to do is upload my accounts, and within seconds, I can see all of my spending categorized. I can see my goals, and I can make better financial decisions. Monarch's visual dashboards and smart tools make it so much easier to understand where my money's going and how to make it work harder for me. So don't let this financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarch.com for 50% off your first year. Again, monarch.com, code LOCKEDONNHL for 50% off your first year. All right, we're back on Locked On Lightning. Nick Morgan here alongside Greg, Steven, and Greg. It is time to start a new segment I'm calling Hot Take Tuesday. I'm going to give you some hot takes I've seen from the corners of the internet.
Okay.
Whether Lightning, Twitter, Reddit, hockey, Twitter, Reddit, social media, all that good stuff, including some takes even left on our YouTube channel here and there.
Okay.
I want to have you tell me if they're hot takes or if they're actually a take you agree with.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to start this. Let's keep it with the Tampa Bay Lightning. These next two games against the Blackhawks and against the Ducks are both must win for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Agreed.
Hot take or not?
No. Do you want me to tell you why?
Yeah, no. I'm
I'm
not looking for just yes or no.
Those teams are atrocious. There's no reason to lose to these teams. This is a free win. I know there's no free win in any sport, but these are both free wins. They are. Like on paper, you should not lose either of these games. You shouldn't. And Cooch is back too. There's no excuse. You have Cooch back. You got Girgensons back for some forechecking. Made a couple line changes. You had 5 days off, and you're playing at home. There's no reason to lose to either of these games.
Okay, I like it so far. Yeah, I mean, too early for. No, I can't say that. I called the last two games over the weekend must win, so I don't have much room to disagree with you there. Okay, here is another hot take for you.
Okay.
We as Lightning fans underestimated how much Nick Paul is holding the defensive aspect of the Lightning forward group together. So I guess the hot take would be Nick Paul's absence impacted the Lightning more than anyone thought it should.
I think that's a hot take.
Okay.
I think the defense is really held together by Cirelli and Hagel. And Paul is a great two-way forward. So I'm not dissing him in that regard. And yes, I think having him will help. I'm not saying that either. Do I think it's the reason they're broken? No, not at all. He's just not. I don't think he's a make or break player for this kind of team. This team is so stacked that, yeah, it sucks. He's out, but there's still no reason to be this awful defensively. He's not going to go play defense for Radish. Are you going to tell me that? Because he's not going to go take 15 minutes of penalties like Lilleberg. I mean, those are the things that are killing you. It's not that Paul is gone. I mean, again, it hurts. It's just, I don't think he's like the thing that's wrong is really my point.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I think he is very good at, I think, locking down the middle of that lineup.
Yeah.
And it's been really good on the penalty kill. I don't think he's the end all be all. And I think there's a lot of problems just well beyond Nick Paul. But I will say, getting him back, I do feel like we'll solve a couple problems.
Oh, it'll help us a ton. Yeah.
Let's go to some NHL hot takes, Greg.
Okay.
So best record in the league right now belongs
Carolina
to the
Hurricanes?
Vegas Golden Knights.
Oh, the Knights. Oh, yeah, because they just beat the Canes last night, right?
They do.
Yep.
5-0-2. So
Mhm.
the hot take,
Yep.
not just based on – this is obviously going to be based on play, talent, all of that, not necessarily just the factual record.
Mhm.
But, Greg, the Vegas Golden Knights are the best team in the NHL this year. Hot take or not?
Currently, I'd agree. And I had them in my Stanley Cup contender tier list because I knew this was going to happen. Eichel is a monster. He was underestimated when he was traded to Vegas, and he won. Then Stone is over there now. I mean, he was there, but he's healthy right now. He looks good. And then you add Marner. You got a pretty good goalie, and you got some good D. It's a good team. And look, don't get me started on Dorofeev. That kid is a monster.
The guy came out of nowhere.
Insane. He's so good. They call him Scorofeev, if anyone doesn't know that, because he's so good. He's so good. Yeah, I agree. I think they are the best team in the league right now.
Yeah. They're also number one in scoring in the entire NHL. You know who's number two in scoring, Greg? The Montreal Canadiens.
Are they?
They're 5-2-0 this season. 25 goals this year. They're getting some big contributions across the board this year.
Yeah.
Lane Houston's having another good year. Nick Suzuki with 10 points, one of the top of the NHL. Cole Caulfield has gone off with 8 points. So, Greg, the Montreal Canadiens are going to be more of a contender this year than anybody previously thought.
I don't know, because if you look before the season started. Actually, a lot of NHL analysts predicted they would be. So I wouldn't say
Neither of us did.
What?
Neither of us did. Okay, I'm talking about cup contenders. Like, are they a cup contender this year?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so no, that's
I don't even think they're close to being a cup contender. I think they've still got 2 years at least.
Okay, I want to see more for this year. Like, I want to see like another couple months of play, because
I want to see how they handle. Start? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, is this more of a hot start, or is this actually a sign that they're clicking on all cylinders? I mean, the talent's there. I mean,
absolutely.
Guys like Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield should be sort of at their peak. So it's not far-fetched, but I want to see more before I say this anything more than a hot take for right now.
I completely agree. And I want to see how they handled whatever losing streak comes their way in the middle of the season, because every team faces it. So we'll see how they battle adversity. I mean, with San Luis behind the bench, they're probably good through that. But, another thing you should look at is they lost to the Sens. They lost to the Leafs, who should be beating them and did. And then they're some of their wins, the Hawks, again, you should win that game probably as the Canadians. The Kraken, again, I think you're supposed to win that game, and then the Preds. So again, I don't think their wins are against particularly fantastic teams. So I'm not gonna gas them up just yet.
Yeah. Here's one, and maybe it's a little bit sad, because you talked about the Nashville Predators a little bit, and this is our last one.
Okay.
But our buddy Steven Stamkos is not having a great start to the year. Just 1 goal, 1 assist in 2 games, -2 this year, which, if you look at the Nashville Predators roster, is actually kind of jarring compared to some other people on the team. Greg, the peak the Steven Stamkos era is done. He's cooked.
It is. Yeah, it was over when he left Tampa. I think he even underestimated how much Kucherov was making him better, to be honest with you. And when you play with Point and Kucherov, you are going to be at least average. That's just how it goes. They're just that good. And Steven Stamkos is a legend. Love him more than probably 99.9% of players that have ever played in the NHL. Love him to death.
Yeah.
But it's over. It's over. And Nashville does not have a good roster. So I think they brought him over to be Kucherov, and he's not,
Yeah. Decent start, but not a great roster for Nashville this year. We'll always have some good memories of him in Tampa Bay.
Of course. Look,
all right, so this is Hot Take Tuesday, Greg. If you guys have any hot takes online that you want us to judge, let us know. Drop us a chat on YouTube, Instagram, wherever you have them, and we'll be happy to talk about them on the show. That's going to do it for us on today's Locked on Lightning. Thanks for making us your first listen of the day. We'll be back with a new episode tomorrow. We'll see you then.